The news spread like wildfire, consuming everything in its path. A rogue planet hurtling through space on a collision course with Earth. 30 days. That's all that remained. 30 days until the end of everything. The initial shock was profound, a collective gasp that echoed across the globe. Disbelief painted every face, etched into the lines of worry. Could this be real? Could our time be so finite? The world held its breath, suspended between the reality we knew and the terrifying unknown that awaited us. 30 days, a month. It felt like an eternity and no time at all. Fear, the great equalizer, swept through humanity. It manifested in different ways. Panic in the streets, desperate pleas to a higher power, a frantic search for answers. Some turned to their faith, seeking solace in ancient scriptures and prophecies. Churches, mosques, temples, all overflowed with the lost and the yearning. Others sought answers in the stars themselves, clinging to the hope of a last-minute miracle. Ancient cultures saw it as a fulfillment of their prophecies, a return to the cosmic balance. Some welcomed the end, embracing the inevitable with a sense of fatalism. Amid the chaos, a strange calm settled. The world, usually a cacophony of noise and activity, seemed to pause, holding its breath. The usual rhythms of life, the daily grind, the pursuit of ambitions, all seemed meaningless in the face of impending doom. The scientific community, burdened with the knowledge of the impending doom, worked tirelessly, their minds racing against time. Calculations were made, simulations run, but the results remained unchanged. The rogue planet, a celestial harbinger of death, was on an unalterable trajectory. Governments around the world grappled with the impossible task of preparing for the end. Emergency protocols were enacted, resources were mobilized, but the sheer scale of the impending disaster dwarfed any efforts to mitigate it. The weight of responsibility, the knowledge that they could do nothing to stop the inevitable, bore down on world leaders. The world watched, a captive audience to its own demise, as scientists and politicians alike confirmed their worst fears. There was no escape, no last-minute miracle. The universe, in its cold indifference, had spoken. The imminence of the apocalypse brought out the best and worst in humanity. Panic erupted in the streets as the realization of the impending doom sunk in. Riots, looting, and violence became commonplace as the veneer of civilization began to crack. Others retreated into denial, clinging to the hope that it was all a hoax, a collective nightmare from which they would soon awaken. They went about their daily routines, pretending that the end wasn't hurtling towards them at an alarming speed. And then there were those who accepted the inevitable. They sought solace in their loved ones, spending their last days cherishing the moments they had left. They looked up at the approaching planet, not with fear, but with a strange sense of awe and acceptance. Section 5. Love in the Time of Apocalypse. Acts of Kindness and Last Goodbyes. In the face of annihilation, humanity's capacity for love and compassion shone through. Strangers helped strangers, offering comfort and support. Families came together, mending broken bonds and sharing precious last moments. Love, it seemed, transcended even the fear of death. Couples who had bickered for years found themselves holding each other close, their differences fading into insignificance. Parents whispered stories to their children, hoping to instill in them a sense of peace and wonder in the face of the unknown. Last goodbyes were said, tears were shed, and love in its purest form filled the void left by despair. The world, stripped bare of its illusions, revealed the true essence of humanity. It was a stark reminder that even in the face of unimaginable darkness, love, hope, and compassion could still flicker. Section 6. The Scramble for Meaning, Faith, Philosophy, and Final Farewells. The impending end triggered a global existential crisis. People grappled with the meaning of their existence, questioning their purpose in a universe that seemed indifferent to their fate. Some found solace in their faith, drawing strength from their beliefs. Others turned to philosophy, seeking answers in the words of great thinkers throughout history. Still, others chose to spend their final days indulging in their passions, art, music, literature. They poured their hearts and souls into their creations, leaving behind a final testament to the human spirit. Concerts were held in the streets, impromptu galleries showcased works of art, and the written word flowed freely, capturing the raw emotions of a species on the brink. The world became a tapestry of emotions, a kaleidoscope of fear, hope, despair, and acceptance. It was a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of the human spirit. Section 7. Legacies and lessons. What will we leave behind? As the end drew near, humanity began to reflect on its legacy. What would we leave behind? What had we learned from our brief time on this planet? Had we made a difference? These questions echoed through the collective consciousness, a sobering reminder of our mortality. We had scaled great heights, explored the depths of the oceans, and even ventured into the vast expanse of space. But we had also waged wars, polluted our planet, and inflicted suffering on our fellow human beings. Our legacy was a complex tapestry of triumphs and failures, a testament to the duality of our nature. Perhaps the most important lesson we could leave behind was the importance of unity, compassion, and understanding, for in the end, we were all part of the same fragile species, sharing the same fate on a small blue planet, hurtling through the vastness of space. Section 8. The final hours between despair and transcendence. The final hours were upon us. The rogue planet, a celestial grim reaper, loomed large in the sky, casting an ominous shadow over the earth. The air was thick with a sense of foreboding, a palpable tension that crackled with every passing moment. Some succumbed to despair, their cries of anguish echoing through the desolate streets. Others faced their demise with stoic acceptance, finding a strange sense of peace in the face of oblivion. Families huddled together, seeking comfort in their final moments. Lovers exchanged tearful goodbyes, their love for each other transcending the boundaries of life and death. The world held its breath, bracing for the inevitable. The end was no longer a distant threat, but an imminent reality. Section 9. A moment of reflection on the brink of oblivion. And then in the final moments, as the rogue planet filled the sky, a strange sense of tranquility descended upon the earth. It was as if time itself had slowed down, allowing us a final moment of reflection. We had come into existence on this small blue planet, a cosmic accident in the grand scheme of the universe. We had loved, laughed, cried, and experienced the full spectrum of human emotions. We had achieved great things and made terrible mistakes, but through it all we'd endured, clinging to hope, even in the darkest of times. As the light from the approaching planet engulfed us, we were reminded of the preciousness of life, the importance of connection, and the enduring power of the human spirit. And in that final moment, as the world faded to black, we were left with a single profound thought. We were here, we lived, we loved, and that, in the end, was all that truly mattered.